There's a major story developing in Hollywood that's making a lot of noise. Today, we're going to break down the really serious allegations being made against one of the biggest names in the entire entertainment industry.
So let's just get right into it. In late December of 2025, director Tyler Perry was hit with a second lawsuit, and this one puts allegations of sexual assault right back in the spotlight. And this is all happening just a few months after a very similar case was filed.
All right, Section 1, a second lawsuit emerges. We're going to start with the newest set of allegations, because these are the ones that have just brought this whole story roaring back into the headlines.
Okay, so who are the key players in this new lawsuit? Well, the plaintiff, the one filing the suit, is an actor and model named Mario Rodriguez. He actually got his first big film role in one of Perry's movies. The defendants are, of course, Tyler Perry himself, and also the production company Lionsgate is named in the complaint.
So let's get into the details here. Inside the allegations, what is actually being claimed in this lawsuit? Well, it paints a really troubling picture of a relationship that spanned years, one that Rodriguez alleges turned coercive and ultimately illegal. And to really understand the gravity of this, you just have to look at this number. Rodriguez is seeking $77 million in punitive damages. Now, that's not just to cover costs. A number that big is meant to punish, which tells you everything you need to know about how serious these accusations are. The complaint lays out a timeline that goes back almost a decade. It all starts in 2015 when they first meet. That leads to Rodriguez getting a role in one of Perry's films. But then, the lawsuit alleges a really dark turn in 2018 and again in 2019, with two alleged sexual assaults, which brings us all the way to this lawsuit being filed in 2025.
And when you dig into the complaint, the claims get incredibly specific. It alleges multiple unwanted sexual advances, including one instance where Perry supposedly unbuckled Rodriguez's pants, and another where he allegedly placed Rodriguez's hand on his genitals. The lawsuit also gets into the power dynamic here, claiming Perry dangled the promise of future movie roles as a kind of leverage and even gave Rodriguez cash payments that, according to the suit, were framed as apologies.
Okay, so we've heard one side of the story, but what about Tyler Perry's team? How are they responding to these really serious allegations? Well, they have come out with a very strong denial. Perry's lawyer, Alex Spiro, came out swinging. In a statement, he pretty much called the lawsuit a failed money grab. He made sure to point out that the very same lawyer is involved in both cases against Perry, strongly suggesting this is all financially motivated.
And this is where the story gets a whole lot bigger. See, this isn't just a one-off incident. The Rodriguez lawsuit is actually the second one filed against Perry this year, and when you look at the two cases, there are some pretty striking similarities.
You might remember the first lawsuit was filed back in June 2025 by another actor, Derek Dixon. He worked with Perry on the show The Oval, and he also accused the director of sexual assault. His lawsuit claimed it created a coercive, sexually exploitative dynamic.
So, when you put these two lawsuits next to each other, the similarities are, well, they're pretty hard to miss. On one side, you have Mario Rodriguez alleging these incidents happened at Perry's LA home. And on the other, you have Derek Dixon, who also claims he was sexually assaulted at Perry's home while working on one of his TV shows. The location, the power dynamics, they're just notably similar.
Let's just break down these common threads because they're really key to the whole thing. 1. Both men are actors who got career opportunities from Perry. 2. Both lawsuits allege the assault happened at his home. And 3, and this is the detail Perry's defense is really zeroing in on, both men are being represented by the exact same lawyer. All right, so where does all this leave us? You got two lawsuits, you've got a firm denial. What's the big picture? Let's look at the key takeaways and what this all means right now.
So you might be wondering, why now? Why did Rodriguez wait until 2025? Well, according to his own complaint, the catalyst was seeing the news about Derek Dixon's lawsuit back in June. The document says that when he saw that, he decided it was finally time to tell his own story, to get justice, and to try to stop Perry. So that really explains the timing here.
So, to wrap this all up, here's the situation in a nutshell. You've got two different actors, both of whom worked with Tyler Perry, who have now filed lawsuits with very similar allegations of sexual assault. They happen to share the same lawyer. Meanwhile, Perry's legal team is calling the whole thing a money grab and denies absolutely everything. So now, this whole battle is going to move from the headlines and into the courtroom.
You know, this case really leaves us with a question that's so much bigger than just these specific allegations. In an industry like Hollywood, where power and opportunity are so closely tangled together, what safeguards are there, really, for the people who are just trying to build a career? It's a tough question with no easy answer, but it's one these lawsuits are forcing all of us to think about. Thanks for tuning in.